Hello everybody, welcome to my X Files. Today I am going to show you that after of course looking it up and actually finding what to do, I know how to release the body of the Class 66s now from Accurascale. So I am going to show you more or less a demonstration how to do this. So you put the train more or less where the grills are that side, then the main case that side. Now, you try and get your fingers under the body around here, and then of course you'll feel that 4 things have clipped out, which of course is the clips. And you just give it a little shake, and then the body comes off. Now, just move, then you move that. If you wanted, of course, to train where the grill's at the front, which is this bit where you got that little gap there for a DCC decoder or sound decoder, and you of course you get your wanted parts, your wanted buffer beams. You basically get that out of the bag. Of course the bags are very thin, so of course there's always going to be a little bit of damage. So there it is. That's the fully buffer beam, which actually shows of course the pipe work and hooks already in place. So of course in here there are some very tiny little screws at the front. I'm not sure if you see them, but they're straight slot and very thin. It looks like you're gonna have to be careful with how to do that, because the cords are very thin. So of course what you need is a screw head, which is a screwdriver with a very tiny screw head like this. It's more easier if you have one that's color coded. With mine from my dad's set, is the small one's yellow. So of course you lefty loosey both of the screw heads. Take the 00 gauge hook out, which there it is, and then of course you do that and just hope that the little screws come out like that, and then of course the train thing the bumper slides out. Of course this is for if you want to use trains for double heading purposes or top and tail. So then you slide in the new one, in which this one's been a little bit of a pain. Because that should have actually gone in. Oh, blimey, out, that's hard. Now it's just made me break one of those things off. No, I can't mend it. Hang on. So without very much a lot of problems putting it in, I think you have to more or less disable one of these little tiny little beam things inside in order to actually make it work, because I had a hard time trying to actually get that on, and parts keep falling off of it at this moment. But it won't do this when I actually get it on the actual train, when I get my next train, because things will be a lot easier. You also have to be very careful with it, because the thing is that this thing keeps showing off that it's going to fall out. Okay, after that rubbish, we can now get on. So, what you do is put one of these in there. Oh. Get back to the and then get back to the holes, the desired holes. That holds it down. Right, now that the screws are in, we're able to put the train back together. And then of course pain. And of course train then goes back on just like that. But of course, because of the thing being extremely stupid, it's just, to be fair, broken the final look of the train. There we go, and that's more or less how your finished product is supposed to look like when it's all fully put together. If you have like a low emission variant locomotive like this, which of course is actually really impressive, but the thing is you do that with single, if you're going to use the train on solos. If you were doing it on double headings, it's going to have to be that. But yeah, I think, to be fair, you're going to have to nick one of these little tiny little beam things off first, otherwise it's not going to slide in. So there we go, that more or less about wraps up the demonstration. Of course it did take longer because of some things being a pain bottom, because of it having two of those beams, meaning that it wasn't able to get in, to slide in. I think Accurascale should have just left those out. I think otherwise the train would be able to go together. So of course what I'm going to do is I'm gonna have to more or less take this up version of this train, then of course and then of course yeah, and of course put that similar version onto the other class 66. So with that said, thank you for watching my X-Files, and I'll see you again next time, Slugheads!